Hi Gandhi class, welcome to your first English lesson this week. And our learning objective for today's lesson is, can I write out our text map? So today we're going to write out our text map, but before we do, I want you to have a think about what our everyday writing skills are. So on a piece of paper, I want you to make a bullet pointed list on what you think our everyday writing skills are, because this is going to be our success criteria for today. So pause the video here to write down what they are. Now, it's important that we are using this as our success criteria to make sure that we are doing a really great piece of writing. So what I want you to do now is I want you to check your everyday writing skills success criteria against my expectations. If there are any that you have missed, please add them onto your list, and you are going to be referring back to that today as you are writing. So please make sure that you've got neat cursive handwriting. You are in year 3 now, which means you need to start joining up your letters. Try your very best to do it. Make sure that you are writing on that line as well. You need to make sure that your punctuation is used in the correct places. So that means you need your full stops at the end of your sentence. Now, just because you get to the end of a line doesn't always necessarily mean that's the end of your sentence. So you need to make sure that you really are putting your punctuation in the right places. You need to make sure your capital letters are also put in the correct places. Now, I want you to have a think. When do we use capital letters? Pause the video to have a think. Well done if you got that we use them at the start of a new sentence or for a proper noun, so that's a name. I also want you to make sure that you are reading back through your work to ensure it makes sense. Go back to the start, read through it, make sure you haven't missed out any letters or any words, and make sure that it does make sense. And lastly, I want you to take your time. Really think about what you are writing. Don't rush. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to read through our text map together, and I want you to do it with me and include the actions, because this will help remind you what you need to write. I'm going to put in our text map video now, so please make sure you watch it and that you are doing the actions alongside it.
The electric hairbrush. Introduction. The electric hairbrush was actually a magnetic brush invented by Dr. George Scott. What does it look like? The electric hairbrush was made of bristles, not electrical wires. It looked like an ordinary hairbrush, but it was engraved with the inventor's name on the handle. What does it do? The electric hairbrush was said to cure baldness and make your hair thick and grow. It did not hurt to use the brush and became very popular. More information. Dr. George Scott stated only one person could use the hairbrush at a time. This meant more people bought the brush, with more than one in some households. The electric hairbrush was also said to cure headaches, amongst other diseases. Did you know the oldest hairbrush is 230 years old?
Okay, so great work going through our text map. Now, before you begin writing out the text map, I'm going to model writing part of it for you so that you can see exactly what yours should look like. Okay, so here is my piece of paper. Now, with our text map, it starts off with the heading of the electric hairbrush. So at the very top of my paper, I'm going to really neatly write the electric hair brush. Now that is our heading, and we need to make sure that we are underlining our heading. So very neatly underline it. You should have a ruler in your pack. If not, then you can use the hard edge of something else. When you underline, make sure that you have got it in the right place and that you have placed out your fingers across the ruler to keep it in place, and then you draw your line. Now, if you remember in our text map, it also has a picture, and the picture is around here. So what you're going to need to do using your ruler on this side of the paper, I want you to draw a box that is, let's go for 7 centimeters along, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines down. Okay, so there is a box for our picture. Now, in this box, I want you to draw a picture of the electric hairbrush. Please do not spend too much time drawing this, because I'm more interested in seeing what you write rather than your drawing of the picture. So we've got a picture of the electric hairbrush. That's the handle. There's the brush. There are the bristles. Now on the handle it has the engraving, which was his name, Dr. George Scott. I'm going to fit that in quickly there. And then on the front we have electric written on it. Now, as I said, do not spend too much time on this because I'm not interested in seeing your drawing. I'm more interested in seeing what you are writing. Okay, so the first thing that we really need to write next is the introduction. So we need to write our subheading over here. Now, if you have got lined paper with a margin, please make sure that you are starting next to your margin. If you do not, then please just make sure that you are starting in an appropriate place. Now, I'm going to start with my subheading here, which says introduction, capital I, introduction. Okay, now I'm going to use my ruler to underline my subheading. And the first bit that I'm going to do now is write the first sentence. So my sentence is the electric hair brush was in fact a magnetic brush invented by Dr. George Scott. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go through that. I'm going to reread my paragraph and I'm going to check to make sure that I've got all of my success criteria in there. Now, I've noticed that I had forgotten to put a capital letter at the start of my sentence. So if you have got another coloured pen and you've made a mistake, please use that other coloured pen or pencil to correct your mistake. So here is my purple polishing pen, and where I should have my capital T, I'm going to go in and put a capital T. So the electric hairbrush was, oh, I've got a spelling mistake there. So above it, I'm going to put the correct spelling. Was, it's a S, not a Z. Was in fact, oh, I've put in fact together when in fact it's actually two separate words. So I'm going to put a line in between there to show that it is two separate words and that a finger space should be put there. So the electric hairbrush was in fact a magnetic brush invented by Dr. George Scott. Now, Dr. George Scott is a proper noun, which means he needs capital letters for his name. So the D for doctor should be a capital. The G for George should be a capital, and the S for Scott should be a capital. Now I'm missing one last thing, and that is my punctuation. So I need to make sure that I have got a full stop at the end of my sentence. Now I want you to have a look at how big my full stop is. I don't want to see massive full stops on your paper. I just need a clear, small dot. Okay, so our next subheading is what does it look like? Now, because we're doing it in paragraphs, I want you to leave a line. So we're going to leave a line here, and then on the next line, we're going to write what does it look like? So capital W, what does it look like? And because this is a question, it needs a question mark. Now also, because it's a subheading, I also need to underline it. Okay. So now what we need to do is begin writing our paragraph about what does it look like. When I get down to here, I'm going to carry on writing underneath. Okay, so I'm not just going to write my sentences down this bit here, I'm also going to write them all the way across after my picture. So what does it look like? I remembered my capital T this time for the start of my new sentence. The electric hairbrush was made, that's our A sound there to help you with your phonics, our A sound, made of bristles and not electrical wires. Okay, I'm going to go through that sentence just to check that it's all okay. So I've got the electric hairbrush was made of, oh, I've spelled of wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a neat line through it, just one line, and above it I'm going to put of bristles. And now because we're writing, we should not be doing shorthand things like this. So I need to write the full word and not electrical wires. Oh, I have forgotten my full stop at the end. So I need to put that in there. Okay, next sentence. I've still got a bit of space over here, so I'm going to carry on writing on this line. I do not need to start a new line unless the next word is too big. So I've got it looked, I can fit it looked, which fits very nicely in there. It looked like an ordinary hairbrush, but was engraved. Remember, that's one of our key vocabulary words. Engraved with the inventors. Now, the inventors, the name is owned by the inventor, so you need an apostrophe. Inventor's name on the handle. Okay, what I'm going to do now that I finished my first two paragraphs, I'm going to read through them to make sure that they make sense. So, introduction. The electric hairbrush was in fact a magnetic brush invented by Dr. George Scott. Good, that makes sense. What does it look like? The electric hairbrush was made of bristles and not electrical wires. Full stop. It looked like an ordinary hairbrush, but was engraved with the inventor's name on the handle. And there's my full stop there. Okay, so then we go on to the next paragraph. Because it's a new paragraph, we need to leave a line. If you forget to leave a line though, just do 2 marks like this, and then I will know that that was meant to start on a new line. So I'll show you the example. If our next subheading is what does it do? Then I can see that you meant to put it on a new line because you've put 2 lines here to show me that that is meant to be a new paragraph. Okay, then we start writing our next part. So the next part is the electric hairbrush was said to cure baldness and help people's hair thicken and grow. It didn't hurt to use the brush and it became very popular. So again, we start our sentence with a capital letter. The electric hairbrush was said to cure, oh sorry, my 2 doesn't look like a 2 there, to cure, I don't think baldness is going to fit here, so I'm going to put it on the next line. I'm not going to squish it in because otherwise I won't be able to read it. To cure baldness and help people's, now it's people's hair, they own the hair, so you need to have an apostrophe to show that it is owned. People's hair thicken and grow. Full stop. Let's read through that sentence, make sure it makes sense before we write our next sentence. So, the electric hairbrush was said to cure baldness and help people's hair thicken and grow. Brilliant. Now the next sentence is, it didn't hurt to use, oh, I've made a mistake. So I'm going to get my purple washing pen, put a line. Didn't hurt to use the brush and it became very popular. Now, I'm going to leave the last 2 sections to you because I've already written out our 3 first paragraphs and I've shown you how to lay it out. So I want you then to do the next 2 sections. So let's go back to our notebook very quickly. Okay. So your turn. You're going to use your everyday writing skills success criteria and you're going to write out the whole of the text map. So I did the first 3 sections for you. So I want to see that in your work. And then I want to see the next 2 sections. Now remember, you need to lay it out as a non-chronological report, which means you need your headings, you need your subheadings, and you definitely need to have your diagram or picture, which is our hairbrush. I want you to lay it out like I laid mine out, and I want you to upload all of your work to Tapestry. See you next time, Gandhi class. Bye.